Hey, what's up guys? How you doing? It's me, Lasty here. Welcome today to a brand new episode of the Road to Glory here on FC25 Ultimate Team. I'd first like to just apologise for a couple of days of no uploads. I mentioned it briefly at the very end of the last video, but I kind of just needed to take a couple of days. I've been dealing with a little bit of burnout, mental health, anxiety, that sort of stuff. So I hope you do... hope you don't mind, should I say, that I took a tiny little break. But hopefully we're back and ready to rock and roll again here on the Road to Glory. Now, if you enjoyed today, hit me with a thumbs up. That'd be brilliant. And subscribe as well if you're new. Cheers. What you are going to see today is just a little bit of... compiled clips that I've got over the last couple of days where I haven't really been playing. I've taken the weekend off of the weekend league, so the gameplay that you'll see today is probably the first that I've played in about 4 or 5 days, and it is a little bit of Division Rivals. So I felt very rusty and very fresh back into the game, but you know what? Sometimes I think you just need to take a weekend off. It is what it is. So this Centurions 100 upgrade is 100 mixed players pack. Unfortunately, it's worse than the one that we got around this time last year because they've added some non-rare golds into it. We do get ourselves, was it a walkout inform? And it is an Angel Di Maria. But then I don't see any other players walking out, and I'm just a little bit confused. I'm like, this was 100 players pack, right? Surely it was going to be a dub. But no. 86 Di Maria is the highest rated player that we actually end up getting from this. We do get another inform, so 2 informs, and then it goes straight down to like Cole Palmer, Pavard, and I'm like, wow, did I just submit 3 squads for this? That is absolutely wild. So, yeah, that was before the start of the new promo, by the way. So, this was during the very, very end of Centurions. And yeah, this was not great. I don't think I even got any of the silver or bronze cards that are currently... There's like a couple of silver and bronze cards that are currently like mega OP because you can put them into a couple of Evos, and one's like 6'9" or something crazy. Anyway, I then played like 15 friendlies against myself from my Xbox to my PlayStation with a couple of Player of the Months and a couple of Team of the Week players in the squad. Got the certain amount of goals needed or whatever it was. It took me about 20 minutes, maybe a little bit longer because it was 15 games. But I would just score against myself and then quit. Maybe it took half an hour. And it got me like 10 objectives done, so 2 objectives groups, and then also gave me like 4 levels of the season pass. So that was, after not really doing anything for a couple of days, that was genuinely like an insane sort of push me back up into the, into almost like the current game, and I could save these packs and stuff that I got here for the very start of the Track Stars promo, which obviously launched on Friday night. So that was really cool, actually. Yeah, there's loads of XP to get. I guess it might be a little bit of a sign that people aren't playing as much as EA had hoped, that they've already whacked up the numbers on the XP. Like, if you come back and play, you'll get your SP to try and work towards the season pass. But yeah, maybe that's a sign of that. I'm not too sure. Anyway, next up for me is going to be marquee matchups. Now, you'll notice that I'm building all of these packs, and I'm getting all of these objective stuff done before I'm opening up the large majority of them, all right? Because I was waiting for Track Stars to begin. So some of this stuff is from Friday, but yeah, we have an international break, so we have international marquee matchups this week. It wasn't particularly difficult, even as someone that doesn't have that much stuff in my club right now. It wasn't very difficult at all to get done. I don't think it gives out the greatest packs. We get a premium gold players pack as the overall. So now 6 p.m. had rolled around on Friday night, and I could open up the sort of 15 packs, I guess, that I've managed to accumulate from various objectives and SBCs, and hopefully try and pack a Track Stars or something, or at least just up the fodder levels in the club, because there's a couple of SBCs that are currently turning my head, and I'm thinking, you know what? It might not be the most meta thing, but I kind of want to get this player. If you know, from previous RTGs, there's a certain striker that I have always gotten on with, even though he's not particularly meta. So yeah, let me know in the comments who you think that might be, and who, you know, this particular like red card that I might be trying to unlock myself for the squad. Surely that's enough hints for you guys. Anyway, so we're on to a rather large binge of packs right now before we end up getting into our rivals games, and I'm not seeing walkouts so far. Certainly not seeing track stars so far. I don't really know fully who's in the promo. So if I was to pack any at any point this week, it would be a pretty big surprise because I have no idea who there are. I know there's a Courtois, and I know there's a few heroes like a Ginola and stuff. But yeah, it sort of escapes me. Like, I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but because the top level promo cards are so unattainable, especially for a Road to Glory. Yeah, I think it seems this year that you need to go into the store and open the big store packs, probably with FC points, because there's so many packs. That's how you have a chance at getting like the big pulls. Unless you get lucky every now and again. I'll say it right now. The RTG has got particularly lucky in the early stages of the game, but it feels like the promo players, the top end ones, you sort of see them in a little tweet saying, "Oh, these players are out now," and that's probably like the last time you really look at them, unless you randomly face up against one, and that's a pretty rare occurrence in game because it does seem that the promo cards. It used to be more exciting for me because I had much more of a chance of actually packing one. A lot of the packs that we get now are like 75 times 2, 78 times 2. So we're not really topping our club up very much. And there's no real menu grind to be able to get lots of packs in return, which then gives me the chance to actually pack the promo players. I think this is a pretty decent explanation of my current issues with like the menu grind. And then of course with the more unenjoyable gameplay this year, is putting it lightly in my opinion, we have ourselves a bit of a struggle on FC25, and I think that's reflected in a lot of people's views and opinions on this game. If you're enjoying it, fair play to you, but it's not been the most enjoyable start to the cycle for me on an FC game. Anyway, Coop Miners is up next. I don't believe I've packed a Track Stars or a Walkout yet, as I've been waffling there. But let me know if you've managed to pack anyone. Have you got a Track Stars? Have you got a Track Stars hero? I know last week we had Centurions and there were Centurions icons. I mean, if you can't pack the regular promos, how are you going to pack the promo icons? That seems a little bit far-fetched. I can't even remember which icons were out because it's kind of irrelevant to the RTG unless they get an SBC that I can somehow work towards over a long period of time. So I'm still yet to see any walkouts, but I've done this pack opening strategically. You know, we've been opening the worst to the best packs. You know, we'll save the good stuff to the end, and we're starting to get to those numbered SBC packs or objective packs right now. And we are up to like the 81 times 3s or 80 times 5 and 82 doubles and things like that. So we're on to that now. Serie A Frenchman from Inter. That, to me, is a Pavard. Yeah, Pavard at centre-back. Now, does anyone know, is Track Stars a 1 or a 2 week promo? I'm not actually too sure, because Centurions surprised me a little bit. Well, Track Stars surprised me a little bit that it came out when, like, a week after Centurions. I thought it might have been a double stacker, because that seems to be the way that the bigger promos, and I always class Centurions as a bigger promo. They always seem to last 2 weeks. Anyway, still yet to have seen anything particularly decent here. This is now starting to get a little bit worrying that we're not going to get anything in our pack opening. An English Prem Villa, or at least that's an 85, right? That is going to be the boy, Ollie Watkins, one of the finer finishers of goals in the Premier League, I have to say. Really do rate Ollie Watkins. I like him as a striker a lot. Next up, English centre-back from the Premier League. Again, I don't see a walkout lines at the back of the pack. Could be Super Johnny Stones, though. It is. So the 85s are starting to show up, but I need those to be at the back of the pack, and the higher rated stuff to be like showing me right now in the tunnels. Like this. This is a walkout. Centre-back, Spanish, from Liga F. That is an Irene Paredes if I've ever seen it in my life. It is absolutely never Mappy Leon. Until today, we end up actually getting Mappy Leon. And I could tell that by the walkout, because I've packed Irene so many times and never packed Mappy Leon, that she looked different. It did not look like, it didn't look like Irene Paredes. I kind of know the shape of her head or something at this point. So, yeah, I was happy to get a nice 89 rated card. That's very useful for fodder. We are actually sitting on a decent amount of fodder in the club right now. I've got that Haaland, I've got a spare Van Dijk, I've got all sorts. So if the right SBC is here, you can bet that I could potentially put some players into it. And then an English Premier League, oh, it's not that boy again, is it? It is Super Johnny Stones. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but it's a nice high-rated duplicate, so we have a storage area for duplicates this year, which means I can certainly make use out of that. Mariona and John Stones in that final pack. So I got one walkout, one 89 rated walkout, and a bunch of 85s, 84s and stuff in all of those packs. It was certainly worth the grind, but not quite the, I'd have liked to have got a track stars. There was 15 packs or so there. I didn't get even a low tier promo cards. Maybe they're a little bit too hard to get, too hard to attain. What do you reckon on that subject? So into division rivals I go, and I have to say I felt pretty rusty, but I am in Division 4, and I think this time in the first season I'd probably work my way up quite a lot further. Maybe I was even in at this point, like Division 4 or probably in Division 3 at this point in season number 1. So I'm actually further back than I was. So I'm hoping those better players have now worked their way into Div 3, Div 2, Div 1, that sort of thing. And then I can now be playing people at sort of more at my level, whether people have leveled up in this game and become better as time goes on. I feel like I haven't. So yeah, maybe due to the lack of games recently, I need to be in Div 4 for a bit. I need to not get promoted, but there's probably a real slim chance of that happening. But we did win our first game, and I do go 1-0 up in the second game. It's really the first time I'm getting a chance to use my upgraded Rashford that I evoed in the week, and also the Alexia Putellas that I ended up buying. So she held her price very well for quite a while, and then dropped about 20k. So that's not actually too bad. I thought I would have lost 100k on her, having owned her for about a week and not really used her at all. But some of those top tier goals, I guess it helps that Salma Paraluello got a special card, so a good link to her, a perfect link to her, is someone like Alexia Putellas. But I have to say, playing my 4-2-2 currently, which is a bread and butter formation for me, but a new one for me in the last few days. I've been on the 4-4-2 hype, haven't I? But I'm trying to go back to my 4-2-2. She seems a little bit meh there. She doesn't quite work as a wide cam for me, so she may not last in the club very long. And I have to say, Patry, as good as her over-the-top balls are, she doesn't seem to have the pace required. She seems quite sort of clunky in the middle of midfield. And when I look at her stats and I think 78 pace for a centre mid, it's not much difference to like Yaya. Why does one feel super slow, one feel super fast? So I'll probably be getting rid of Alexia Putellas and Patry, more in favour of some of my Premier League players. Like I love Jack Taylor, bringing him back into the squad to partner up alongside his Ipswich teammates, my Evos of Harry Clark and Leif Davis. I love having a bit of Ipswich Town in my squad because it makes things mean a little bit more to me. I hope I'm sure you guys would agree with that. I ended up winning 3 games in a row, by the way, going on a hot streak and then losing that next game. Quite a close one, I think it was, but I didn't show it to you. We're just going to show you the wins here. So I got right back on it after losing one game, won the next one, and then we're going to go ahead and win this one as well. So I wanted to get to 5 wins in Rivals today, so that at least I'm sort of, I'm not quite halfway towards the good rewards, but, at least I've earned myself the basic rewards, which definitely got a buff at the start of Season 2. And we do just that. I score a crazy power shot there with Rashford. And actually, would you believe it, I'm actually 2 wins away from Division 3. And actually, no, if I won the next game, I think it'd be in Division 3 because I'm on a hot streak again. Well, it put me onto a hot streak, which would give me a double win, wouldn't it? So yeah, that is interesting. That I am very close to Division 3. Do I work my way up to there yet? Am I good enough for that yet after not really playing for the last week? Maybe not. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I usually lose the promotion game anyway. But my friends, I'm glad to be back. Sorry for taking a couple of days off. Hope you do understand my situation. But if you have enjoyed today, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. I'm trying to come back to this game with a little bit of a different mindset. I'm just trying to enjoy it and laugh off the stuff that happens in the meantime. Sound good? All right, we'll do our best to do that. My friends, yeah, hit that thumbs up, subscribe as well if you're new, follow me on socials, all of that good stuff. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.